Hey there, good people. Welcome to another episode of The Dig. Wasn't really going to make this a long video, but I wanted to share something. The further I've gone into study, the more I've started to recognize and realize how many things over the years that I have kind of taken out of context. Now, here's just a thought, something that I just really want to throw out there that I think will be helpful. I was thinking about salvation. I was thinking about our witnessing, evangelizing, however you want to do it, whatever kind of camp you come from, however you want to say it. I was thinking about that entire process and what that looks like for us. For most of us, we begin with the ideal of telling a person that they are a sinner. I get that. I believe that. I know that they're a sinner in need of a savior. But I also, as I was thinking through this process, I was thinking about the fact that if we begin with sin, then I think that what we ultimately do is we confuse people because the person says to themselves, well, I don't even know why I'm in need of a savior. We don't give them the opportunity to know why it's necessary for them to have a savior, and they're confused about it. What did they sin for? What do they need to be redeemed for? That's not to say that the message or the story of Jesus isn't powerful. We're supposed to preach Christ and Him crucified, as Paul says, that's all he knew. And so, but again, we have to understand also who Paul was talking to when he was having this conversation. So if I looked at it correctly, these were not unbelievers. These are people who are religious people of the day. And that's who Paul was making that statement to. But with that being said, as I look at the text and I think through it, if we try to go and we try to win people with this message of you're a sinner, you need a savior. And I wonder if we could flip this for a moment and think about if we started with creation and then we ran through the fact that God is the one who created all things and all things for himself. And then we moved into the separation through Adam and Eve, through the fall. I wonder if we would have better outcomes of communicating the need of a savior if we spent more time starting with creation as opposed to starting with you're a sinner in need of a savior. We have this ideal that most people just simply know, like, hey, I'm a sinner, I need a savior. Well, they don't. There are a lot of people, even when you approach them, will tell you, listen, everybody does what I'm doing. What's the big deal? I don't believe in that. I don't think we do a good job of bringing the understanding of a need for a savior into a person's life by telling them, look, you're a sinner and you just need a savior. I think that we have to start with the story of creation first, the beginning. In the beginning, God. And then I think we can go with fall afterwards, as we've been separated, and how God wanted to reconcile us back and continue to do so through the birth, death, life, and resurrection of Christ. I think that if we start there, I think that we're doing a much better job of getting into people's hearts and being able to share the gospel. And this is just my opinion. I'm not sure beating people over the head with the you're a sinner message is the message that's going to draw them to Christ. But the one in creation, I think it gives a really good framework. It frames the story well, and it tells you why you have need of salvation. That's all I wanted to share with you today. Those are my thoughts. If you have some, feel free to share them with me. I'm completely open. I was thinking through that and spent many years, 30 years as a matter of fact, just telling people you're a sinner, you need a savior, and wasn't seeing the kind of results that I believe that we should be getting by simply having the ability to explain creation and that God's the maker and the creator of all things, which is a whole nother thing. And I'll talk about that another time, because since I started this, now I'm looking at that entire picture all over again. Is how do we explain creation, even moving forward from Big Bang to everything else? All right. Listen, if you like the content, make sure that you like and subscribe and share. And I look forward to hanging out with you all again. Y'all be blessed.